Ali West. Ali, are you there? Hi. So Ali is from Kinetik Fitness. Some of you may have seen his gym in the city centre of Nottingham, and he is the owner of Kinetik Fitness along with his wife Sarah, of which they both met at an RSViP event, may I add, and are now married. So yes, I did buy my hat. Ali's life purpose and mission is to inspire as many people as possible to live longer, healthier, happier and more joyful lives, which is wonderful. And Ali does this by using his skills and experience in health, fitness, well-being, human performance, mindset and spirituality to help individuals become healthy on all levels, mind, body and spirit. So over to you, Ali. Tell us a bit about, again, pre and post lockdown challenges that you faced and what you found so far.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Fiona, and hello to everyone. It's good to see some familiar faces and some new ones as well. And it was brilliant to hear everyone's story so far, and I can relate to a lot of it, as I guess many of you guys can as well. Before lockdown, we was on a bit of a roll, to be honest. We was doing really well in terms of, like, from a revenue and a financial perspective. Everything was on the up. We'd switched our model in May last year from being more of a gym membership to more small group training. So working in groups of 4 with one trainer, so 1 to 4 model. Within that, they'd get everything, the coaching, the accountability, the nutrition, the whole unit. Still had gym membership and still did personal training, but since last year it was all about small groups. So yeah, things were going well. We're signing up a lot more small group clients. Our membership was growing, and our PT was going up as well, which is our one-to-one training. And then obviously all this hit, and Boris dropped that bombshell on the 20th or the 23rd or whenever it was of March. And it was like, okay, you've got to shut the gym. And it was obviously a big change, as it was for all of us. And I remember it well. It was the Friday night, and it was very interesting to see how I reacted and how Sarah reacted, because Sarah just like immediately burst into tears. She was like crying, probably crying for 2 or 3 hours. She was like, what are we going to do? And anyone that knows me, a lot of you guys know me, I'm pretty much a positive person and an upbeat person. So I was like, look, don't worry. We'll work around it. It'll be okay. Like, it's happened for a reason. Let's crack on and move forward. So we did probably opposite to what most people did in our industry. So I think a lot of people know that the fitness industry just went ballistic, like, oh, let's do an online live, let's do an Instagram live, let's do a Zoom online class. And no disrespect to that, that's great, because these people out there are trying to help people. But we spent the first 2 weeks at least of lockdown kind of slowing down and taking stock, because coming up into it, we was a million miles an hour. We was working a lot of hours, managing a team of 5 at the time. Yeah, it was just going crazy. So we took stock for the first couple of weeks, and we was just like, right, what we're going to do? What's going to be the methodology? How are we going to move forward? How are we going to adapt? And yeah, we just used that first few weeks to really kind of take stock and slow down and reflect. And that was really good. And we decided, well, almost immediately, we decided to take all of our private training clients online. And then we use a payment provider called Harlands. A lot of you might have heard it. They're the biggest direct debit collection agency in the UK, and they take all of our direct debit memberships. So what we did with them was we froze all of our gym memberships. So we didn't take any money off of I can't really say this, normal gym members, our members not doing private training, but we froze all of them. And then all of our private training clients, we just took them into this arena that we're all on now, onto Zoom. So we started immediately doing one-to-one PT through Zoom and our group training through Zoom. If you listen carefully, Sarah's next door, like doing a Zoom session with one of our groups now. So that was relatively easy transition to make. And alongside that, what we've done since is we've started to look at how can we provide a better online service, and just in case, because there's going to be some people that aren't going to want to come back to the gym. That's just the fact of the matter. They might be scared, they might be worried, they might not be coming back into the city. Who knows? So we've got to figure out how we can still serve and offer things to people online. So I guess the last, 6-7 weeks, we've been building out an online platform for coaching. So it's using a software called Thinkific, and it's basically like coaching lessons that they'll work through on a 12-week basis, with PDFs, with videos, exercise is in there, nutrition advice, mindset, the whole lot really, all built out in a 12-week program. We're just coming towards the end of finishing that off so we can like roll that out as an online sale, I guess, or an online facet to our business. And yeah, that's pretty much how it's been going. But I mean, it's been a very different existence for us because usually we're in the gym from 6 in the morning till sometimes it can be 10 at night, 6 till 10, 16-hour days. We got very good at managing our time. We managed to get it down to not working Friday, Saturday or Sunday, but those 4 days, Monday to Thursday that we were there, we was probably still racking up 40, 45 hours a week, and doing everything from cleaning the machines to payroll to sessions to classes to signing members up to marketing, the whole lot. So it's been a very different existence for us. And it's been great. The biggest thing I think we've taken away from it is just that ability, like a lot of you've already said, just to slow down and take stock and think about where we're going with the future of the business and ourselves. And it was interesting to hear some of the other speakers saying about how they've really like taken that time to reflect and see how they're going to move forward. And that's definitely what we've done. And also, it was almost like good timing as well. We was always thinking about taking things online and how we could offer an online service, and it's given us the time to do that because we've always been like, we'll do something online, but we haven't got the time. We keep putting it off. Mm-hmm. And now we've had all this time to do it, particularly in the daytime. So we've just put together that online offering that we're going to roll out over the next few weeks, just in case people aren't wanting to come back to the gym. And just the last week or so, we've been putting together our reopening kind of protocol structure. And so I think come July time, we're going to be doing one-to-one and small group in the gym because we've got a we've got a smallish space. It's not small, it's 9,500 square feet, so it's a decent size, but we've got space where we can keep the social distance and separation, and then probably look to open the gym properly around September and make sure it's all to the right guidelines and done properly. I'd probably put every other machine out of order, close off some of areas, and we're quite lucky in the sense that leading up to it, well, the whole time we've been open, we've had an online app. We've got our own app. So in our app, people can book onto classes. They can get their own program in there that we send out to them with videos and all that kind of stuff. So what we can do come reopening is if it does come down to blocking out slots, we can say, okay, you can come to the gym between 6 and 7, 7 and 8, 3 and 4, 11 and 12. And they can literally do that from their own phone and book on. So it's worked in our favor to some extent being a small provider, because I know places like Pure Gym and The Gym, for example, they have been hit really hard. And I think I read in the Guardian or something the other day that it's costing Pure Gym £3.5 million a week being closed. So it is going to work in our advantage, I think, being a smaller provider, because we've only at lockdown we had about 400 members and then about 20 on private training. So it's easier to manage, so to speak. But I guess my fear and not a fear, like something to be consciously aware of, is that how many people are going to come back into the city, because 75% of our membership base is corporate workers. So we're if anyone knows where we are, we're on Bottle Lane. So connects Bridal Smithgate and Fletchergate. We're right in the heart of city centre. And our members come from like businesses around there. So TDX, Michael Page, the businesses in the Lace Market, the businesses on Fletchergate and around that area. So my kind of thing to be conscious of is how many of those businesses are going to come back into the offices and be working in the city centre. So hence the online offering, in case our usage goes down and the people coming into the city goes down, we've still got that thing we can offer online. And it was interesting hearing like what Matt and Martin said about opening up globally and worldwide. And since lockdown, we've took on like a client in LA, a client in Virginia, a client in Europe. So it's just like, yeah, we would have never have done that before, never ever, because we've always been about that one-to-one.
It's opened up so many amazing opportunities online in the digital space, doesn't it? It's kind of endless of what you can achieve and do. Ali, what I wanted to ask you really and comment on was that I know that you've always been a fan of video and you've got your own podcast as well. And not your regular PT, you're out there and you're really hot on your marketing, shall we say? You always have been. And so when COVID-19 hit, was it really kind of a no-brainer for you to just adapt just like that and just go, right, okay, let's deal with this? You said that you're a naturally positive person, and you know, as much as it was probably very difficult and a shock like it was to all of us, did you find that it was quite not easy, but it was a bit of a no-brainer and quite okay for you to kind of adapt into what you're doing now and how you're running your business now?
Yeah, definitely. And I've got to be, again, mindful and conscious to how I word this, like, because I don't want to come across as being arrogant, but I feel like the last 5 years, the work I've done on myself and the work I've done towards my business is almost, without sounding cliche or cheesy, but they're cliches for a reason, right? Is that it's almost prepared me for this moment. So I could handle it in a more effective way. And I will be brutally honest, if this would have happened to me, again, 5 years ago, going back to 2015 or before, I probably would have had a mental breakdown. So I feel like the work I've done in the last few years has kind of prepared me for this, but I've still had to learn a lot. I've still had to adapt. I mean, the whole online delivery and the whole online space for fitness is very different. Believe it or not, it's very different to how it's delivered in person, because a lot of people work with a trainer, they work with a gym because they like that human interaction. And we're all those kind of people. We go to RSViP because we like the human interaction. People come to my gym because they like the human interaction. I'm one of them people that loves the human interaction. I like to high five, fist bump, touch people, hug people, that kind of stuff. So for me, that's been the hardest part, is not being able to connect on that deeper human emotional level, you could say. But I've learned the skills and learned the things I've needed to do to try and move in the right direction, and almost have like not a plan B, but have something on the side just in case things didn't work out with the gym. But I was, like Jasmin said, we've been lucky to get the help and support. We got the £25,000 from the council. We furloughed a member of staff, so that helped us out. So the finances at the moment, like touch wood, aren't too much of a worry. They're not too bad, but I'm ready to get back in the gym and get cracking.
Yeah, I bet you are. So with your responses then, I'm interested to know what kind of responses you've had from your existing clients and then new clients that you've perhaps brought on as well. Like you're saying you're doing all this great stuff. What kind of response has it had? Yeah,
it's been interesting. I said that 75-80% of our membership is corporate, and the other breakdown of it is students. So we're lucky again to have like 2 prestigious universities, like 2 of the best universities in the country. But most of our gym members were international students. So a lot of them from China and Korea, the Middle East, so Dubai, Kuwait, Qatar, those areas, and heavy Greek membership that we had, like a lot of Greeks and Cypriots as members. So literally, as soon as it all really locked down, they all just disappeared. So all of that kind of revenue just went. So that was interesting. And I think it was important that immediately we got the communications out, as everyone pretty much has done. I think most businesses have been really good with the communications, but we made sure that email, social media, we got straight out to people, WhatsApp, and just said, look, this is the situation, don't panic, we're going to deal with it, we're going to freeze your membership, or if you're a private client, we're going to take you online. And the response from private clients has been brilliant. And the response from members initially as well was brilliant. Like, I'm not going to lie, I actually read 3 or 4 emails a week or 2 into lockdown, and I actually cried. I actually burst out in tears, because the members were like, look, don't freeze my membership. Like, just keep taking my money. We want to help you. We want to support you. Because as like everyone, well, pretty much everyone in this Zoom call, we're all independent business owners. So that was like heartwarming, but also like touched me, because sometimes you just like saying hello to these people. They're coming in, they're doing the workout, you say hello, you talk to them a little bit, and then you go. But you don't really realize how you're impacting their life, and like to some extent changing their life, because you're helping them with their health and well-being, and that's one of the most important things in life. So that was like that was brilliant. And again, I just feel like really happy and really blessed that we've not had any complaints. No one's like we've had a few people that have been like, oh, we need a refund, but we've refunded them straight away. Maybe they've been overcharged, or Harlan's took their money when they shouldn't have. So we've refunded them, and everyone's cool. Everyone's been great about it. And the small group training, they've just been loving it. Like, some of them don't want to go back to the gym. Some want to stay online. Some want to go back. It's just really interesting how it's panned out. But everyone's responded like relatively well to it.
So, Ali, just a quick question. I think that's such an inspirational story, like that you've just gone through. I just got a quick question. I think you're right. Like you said, you're like concerned, obviously, that the businesses will start up, and obviously, I guess even if the businesses start up, the next question is of those people that would be gym goers, how many of them will feel safe getting back into a gym? And so I guess, I mean, I do brand and strategy consultancy, and I also do a bit of customer experience with my clients. And one of the things I've been talking to them about is, if we're going to come off lockdown soon, get one of your champion customers, socially distance, walk them through the experience, see what they're thinking, see what they're feeling, see what improvements you can make to help them feel more comfortable and safe. What plans have you got? You said you'll open it up and keep the socially distancing. What kind of things are you putting into place to help people feel safer, I guess? Obviously distancing is one, but what other things have you had to do, and will that add significant impact to the cost that you'll have to charge us out at?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I did the stuff that I don't particularly like the other day, which was a 6-month cash flow forecast, which sorry if you guys like that, like figures, but for me that's like blow your brains out stuff. But we did that, and we had to factor in stuff like this because we're going to have to go back in deep clean. We're going to have to do Legionella, like we're going to have to water cleansing, all of these kind of stuff that you don't really factor into your costing, or you might factor it in on a year basis or 3-year basis. But we've had to factor all of this extra stuff in and guidelines as well. So for us, that's what we're in the process of doing, is our reopening structure, our reopening guidelines. But now we're looking to exactly what you just said, like how can we get the message out that we are a safe environment to come back to. We are a small provider, so you're not going to have that. I mean, for example, at the start of lockdown, the gym in Trinity Square had 11,000 members. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like 400 members to 11,000 is a massive difference. So we need to be able to communicate that effectively, that look, you're not going to be in an environment where people are going to be fighting for equipment, or you're not going to be able to get on equipment. To be fair, that's just really an extension of what we've always put out. As we've always said, we're a small provider, we're capping our membership. You're not going to come into here and say, oh, I have to beat someone up for a treadmill or fight someone for a squat rack or a bench. That's never been the place we've been. So it's just getting that out now from a post-lockdown perspective, so to speak.
That's almost something that you could actually use in your strategy and be very straight to the point with it. I mean, you're a very down-to-earth person anyway, Ali, and I'm sure people can pick up on that in the way that you speak and come across very well. You know your brand very well, clearly, and you're very organised. You're hot on everything. It's obvious that you've had to wear 17 hats over this last few years with your business, and you and Sarah have worked really hard to build it and to maintain it. And I think, as we all can relate, when you have your own business and you put those physical blood, sweat and tears into it, the last thing that you will ever do is let anything come between you and your business succeeding. You do what you've got to do, don't you? And I think that's really what's kind of come about with everybody today who's spoken so far about their businesses, and the passion, I think, has really come through, which is lovely to see. And that's what keeps us all going, really, isn't it? It's the passion, it's the drive. But I think it's really interesting what you said about the way that some of the phrases that you've used, and that could well be something that you actually use in your comeback strategy, is in comparison to these massive corporate gyms that have 11,000 members compared to you, what is your USP? What the fact that is that you are more personable, intimate, you can give more time to people, and it's that connectivity again that Jasmin mentioned and that other speakers have mentioned about. It's not, you lose that sometimes when you are a big company, don't you? And you sometimes what this downtime has done is allowed us to step back and reconnect with why we're doing that, and reconnect with the reasons why we started what we do in the first place, and why we run it the way we run it.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that people have got to take away, is like the reason why, and having that time just to reflect. And I think if if people haven't been reflecting, then it's almost a little bit of time wasted, because for us, we've thought, right, why are we doing it? What's the next 1, 3, 5 years? What do they look like? What do we want to ultimately get it to? How do we want to be when we're in our 40s and beyond? Like, that's how we've been looking at the whole thing. And it was interesting. I think it was Jasmin was saying about our opening hours and all that kind of stuff. We've really thought about that, because we was trying to, I feel like sometimes we're trying to please everyone. And when you try and please everyone, you please no one to some extent. So we've spoken about when we reopen, we're not going to open on a Sunday anymore. We're going to reduce our opening hours down a little bit. And like you say, make it more like honed in, more personal, more almost like, without, again, I don't particularly like the word, but niche, like go down that route. And it's really given us that kind of reflective time, because when you're in it, everyone on here knows, when you're in it 24/7, it's difficult to step back, because as much as you say you can step back, it's very difficult to do. So
you'll probably find that your popularity will go up as well. This is the bizarre thing I find. I think we, as business people, we like run and grab everything, and we try and, as you say, please everybody. But if you look at, like, say a lot of big brands, I mean, you can do it either way, but if you look at like Apple, they could make billions of products, but they whittle it down. There's only actually a small amount. So it's easy for a consumer to choose them. And, you know, like what you're doing, what you're talking about there is, you're actually going to make it easy for the right people to choose you over some of the other brands. So it would differentiate you. I think that's awesome. Good stuff. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ali. That was really interesting.
No problem. Thank you.